Let's get into the discussion here now, and that is the quarterback injuries around the NFL, starting with Jimmy Garoppolo, who is done. He is done for the season. Broken foot yesterday in the game against Miami. Brock Purdy came in, Mr. Irrelevant. The Iowa State Cyclone came in and actually played pretty well there as they took care of the Dolphins, but nonetheless, now the San Francisco 49ers are down another quarterback as they're trying to make a push towards the playoffs, and this does not look good for San Francisco's chances moving forward.
Pretty tough, too, considering they signed Josh Johnson, who has been around the league. He's played 13 years. He's been on 14 teams. I believe this is his second stint with the 49ers. But he is you can't go trade for anyone, for people who out there who don't realize the trade deadline's already passed. And it's not like there's a ton of guys just sitting out who could come in right in and do a great job. Now, maybe there's some guys in retirement you could talk to, Maybe you could call Ben Roethlisberger, but you'd have to get his rights, I believe, from the Steelers. Maybe you could try to call someone else who's retired to come in. You said Andrew Luck earlier, but this is a team and a roster that's built to go win a Super Bowl. And unfortunately, that now, the quarterback position, maybe the one thing standing in their way of being able to win one. And it's a shame, but the crazy thing about the injury and when it took place in this week's game is they were talking before the game that the 49ers were open to bringing Jimmy Garoppolo back and that they were in discussions of what that may look like. And that was the narrative based on how the season's gone with Garoppolo playing so well. And mind you, Trey Lance is somewhere back there sitting, waiting in the wings, right? He's out for the season with an injury. So kind of crazy to think about how all that got thrown into the blender and torn up with the injury to Garoppolo and not knowing what that holds, not only for him or anyone else, because the tough thing is that that's been the narrative with him. He's a good player. He just cannot stay healthy. He's never able to be out there to be healthy for the entirety of the season. When he is, they go to the Super Bowl. They go to the playoffs. But it's just very seldom that that's the case.
It's just – I felt horrible for him.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, he's injury prone. That could have happened to anyone. Right. The way his foot got caught under the body, we see Aaron Donald is out with a high ankle sprain. We saw the way Von Miller went down. It's like in that trench area where all those bodies be flying around and people could get a hold of you and then somebody's falling on you. I felt horrible for him.
What are you talking about? I thought it's always because of the turf. I don't understand.
And the turf, by the way, and the turf, it had something to do with that.
Jonas is against the turf now. He at one point he was for the turf, and everything that everyone's saying. Now he's against the turf. He doesn't think it plays any role.
It just feels like that's always the go-to. Like, how about a guy who was 250 to 260 pounds landed on your foot and it broke? Let's just call that what it is.
Yeah, but maybe his foot might have slipped out of the turf and it might have only been like a sprain, but because of the turf, it broke. I don't know.
Great point.
Anyways, everyone out there, I'm joking out there for everyone. And just in case you didn't know, there was sarcasm in that. The defense is playing really well. The offense was balanced, and it was still balanced even once he went out. But when you get into those bigger games, those harder games, it's going to show why Jimmy Garoppolo has constantly been a topic of conversation as it applies to the 49ers. And here's what's even more interesting. You're not even able to bring in your draft pick quarterback to play because he's out for the season due to, if I recall correctly, a lower body injury as well, right? Didn't he break his foot or something like that? Or
ankle almost got ripped off.
So, this could have been an opportunity for Trey Lance to get his respect back from the turf, from the pundits out there that say he couldn't do it. This would have been one of those interesting opportunities to say, I've had to endure and kind of swallow a nasty pill as to, not working out the way that I would have liked it to so far. But bam, here we are. We're in the playoff hunt. Jimmy G's got us going. He's gone down. Here's my opportunity. I'm not giving it back. They don't even have that. Even have that option. So it'd be interesting to see what Kyle does.
By the way, Kyle Shanahan has spoken earlier about Brock Purdy. Like he's liked Brock Purdy since he's been with San Francisco. No, I'm just saying, like he's been a big fan of him. And all I'm saying is that and I'm not going to go over the top here. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that Brock Purdy be the MVP of the league. Okay. Like, so I think that's fair. And I think
you're not going what?
I'm not going to go over the top on this stuff. Okay. But this is the problem. Brady winds me up because he knows that I'll take the bait every time. He knows if he steers me in that direction.
I don't understand how I winded you up here, but okay.
Okay, just don't do it. Don't do it. I was just simply going to say maybe they can be competitive enough, but probably not win a Super Bowl. And then you got to shift gears and throw me into going down the path that I usually go down to, which is saying something dumb on the air. That's what you do. You do it every time. Been doing it for years. But. Hey. Can they?
You've been doing it for years.
Are they? We talked about them being a potential threat to Philadelphia. That's done, correct? With Brock Purdy as your quarterback and not Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Maybe I'm wrong as far as maybe they can make it through the regular season with this and be able to win enough football games to threaten it. But I just think in the playoffs and all that. Look. We watched Cincinnati and Kansas City. I know we're going to preview that game, recap that game at some point. When you get into the playoffs, that's the thing that you notice the biggest difference in. Like, you start looking at, like, these playoff caliber teams, and you go, do you have a quarterback or do you have a guy that can go up toe-to-toe and do that or not? And right away, you just eliminate them. Like, even as good as that team can be, you pretty much eliminate them. Because you know if it comes down to a final drive in the fourth quarter or overtime, that's the guy who's going to get it done, probably not your guy. And unfortunately, I know Brock Purdy's inexperienced, and look, maybe he's the second coming of Tom Brady. There's a 1% chance that's the case. Like you have tried to point out here, Jonas. But yeah. It's more likely than not that this is the nail in the coffin for their season, even though they're going to be a playoff team when it's all said and done.
Jeff Saturday put that to bed. The whole $1 million deal. We've already played that card for this NFL season. So sorry, Purdy.
And no, you can't win the lottery. Just a reminder.
So you're saying Jeff Saturday took Brock Purdy's lottery ticket?
Yeah. Yeah, you only get one of those. So there you go. The 1 in a million opportunity. Yep, it's gone.